Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. I hope you are having an amazing day. We're taking a look here at Pepe, experiencing this significant decrease in value. And it's pretty much expected, right? We looked at the coins yesterday and we could see that it's very, very bearish. There's a lot of qualities there. While there was one potential ascending benefit, or the fact that the price action could have broken to the upside, because that's a typical breakout pattern. That's literally the only thing we had that was positive. So I hope that's not the only thing you took from our video yesterday, and if you watched all the way through, thanks again, and well done, of course, because you do need to kind of understand all angles here and see that when you're doing technical analysis, it's just building a case of what's good, what's bad, and kind of getting a statistical probability, okay? So let's take a quick look at this here, and I'll remove the fibs just for the moment so we can kind of see roughly what's going on, because I know there's a lot of stuff in the charts. I'll even remove this ascending trend because we broke below that, and that ascending trend, by the way, was our simple moving average 20. Okay, this is a 20-day simple moving average. It's the only moving average we have on the daily time frame right now based on how early it is in this game here. But simply put, now that we're below that, that's extremely disadvantageous. So not trying to scare you at all, but just saying that, generally speaking, the moving average will start to work itself out like this, right? So there's a good chance we're going to be probably in this range or lower for some time until we can break back up above that level. So just know that that's a significant resistance zone, and the only saving grace we have right now, which is concurrent with the current price action, is 50 on the RSI. So as we see 50 on the RSI here getting closer to being tested, that will be the true test to me to see if we can sustain above that. Okay, because we got this significant downtrend after a significant uptrend. Makes perfect sense. We pretty much retrace back down to this 0.5 Fibonacci retracement level, right in that halfway mark. Okay, so right at that sweet spot, if you will, where its average true range is right around the 150,000 mark. But once again, we got this support level based on previous resistances, and we will see if 50 holds in the RSI. Okay, so again, we're right there at about 150 as a round number, is exactly where we should see the price hold and potentially bounce. But keep in mind, it's not a lot of support. And the main reason why I want to talk about that is if you look at this here, you can see that this support level is based on previous resistances. 1, 2, and then the third time it broke through and never looked back. Tested as support, eventually broke below, above, and now below again. So we're seeing this as a point of contention, a very consistent area in which it's retested. There's a gravity that kind of pulls it toward. So we can disseminate that this should hold, but we can also experience, we can also anticipate the fact that we should experience further downside too, because once again, we got more room on the RSI on the daily. And let's see what our RSI looks like here as well. We are not even bottomed out yet at the RSI here on the 4 hour. So keep in mind, as you go lower on the RSI, the less relevant it becomes, right? So to me, the daily makes the most sense. But even on the 4 hour, we can see that we had difficulty crossing that plane. We stayed above for a short while, and now we're working our ways down again. Okay, so money's flowing out of the coin, RSI is coming down, and price is with it. So we really just need more volume to get back into this coin, such as another tweet from Elon Musk, perhaps, right? Something like that would really help us get back on track. That being said, though, if we can see where the price is at right now, we still got plenty of room for downside, because it's really common for coins to bounce off of 30 on the RSI on the 4 hour. At least, if you're swing trading, that's a really good strategy to approach. So to me as a swing trader right now, my swing trader mind is like, do not touch this coin, don't get in yet, the bottom isn't in yet. Okay. Now, while we have a nice support level, that support means nothing if we're not, we haven't come to full fruition to this downside, this downtrend yet. You can also see we just lost the support here as well. This tentative support about 163. I covered that yesterday, where we retested multiple times, and eventually it broke to the downside. Okay, that's where these wedge patterns have a tendency of squeezing up or down. If they come from the downside, they typically go up, right? But in this case, we tested it so many times that it could only have one choice but to break below. Okay. It basically just implies that the bulls lost buying pressure. They had no more coins to buy or not willing to buy anymore, and let the price drop. Okay. Keep in mind, this coin has heavy amount of volume. It's not just people like you and I move in this market. While it's nice to think that, that's a good sentiment, the whales chose to push this price action down, and we just kind of got to march to the beat of their drum for the moment. We can see here the MACD is diverging significantly larger, so that does tell us we still have momentum to the downside. All the more reason not to buy this dip. Now, again, you could do that, sure, why not? So you can add to your position, dollar cost average, whatever. But if you're going to take like a swing trade or a day trade, for example, right now, it doesn't make any sense because we just broke below a key level support, and we're going to have to assume that that level will be a resistance. Okay? So we got to expect 163 as a close approximate, 162 right in that range, to be a new resistance level. So the price were to do anything with where it's at, it'll probably reject and continue lower, or potentially retest this a few times and maybe break above. Okay, but we want to anticipate worst case scenario for that price action to go that go sideways or down for now. That seems to be the most sensible direction we could see here. Furthermore, if we take a look at the hourly, we can kind of see here that based on TD sequential, we are overextended to the downside. There's no doubt about it. Right? We're all the way down to a 9 plus overtime. So in truth, we should get a reset here soon. But the bottom line is that we are at this position right now where the price pushed all the way down to support. We're consolidating at support. One of two things could happen. The price could increase, which notoriously we do see a recovery when we hit a 9 on TD sequential here for Pepe. But there's a lot of other factors and reasons why it may not do that. So here's the thing that you probably want to do. If you're going to take a long position for right now, if you insist on it, ensure that your take profit targets are somewhere below the 160 range to ensure that you get filled. Okay, so maybe make it 159 or split the difference at 154, 155, and make sure that you take profits, get in and get out before you can, or you can't rather, and make sure you take profits while you can. All right. Again, the key to being a successful trader is to take profits. If you don't take any profits, you're never going to win. We took some healthy profits on Gala yesterday, and I had a 20x long position myself, hit a good 300%. And as our community members here, what did we hit? We hit 94% with a 10x long in 4 days from Gala. So again, that's just an example of case in point where we have to take profits, right? We could have taken larger profits. It went all the way up to 35 cents. But at this point, we're good to go, right? Or 3.5 cents rather for Gala. So anyways, long story short here is consider taking profits if you are profitable to the downside right now with those shorts, specifically talking to my community members that are shorting right now, because it could very well recover and bounce, but it doesn't look like it's done yet. That's just kind of the way that it works. Take a look at Ichimoku Cloud too. This is another thing we were talking about yesterday, how we had that rejection and consistent closure below the cloud. That implies that we're going to expect to see further downside because of it. Now keep in mind right now, conversion line below baseline, we can see significant momentum. There's all green lights here to leave your short position open. While it's a little late to get into a short right now, it may not be the worst consideration ever too, because there's no guarantees this support level will hold. Okay, so just keep in mind there's a lot of reasons why the price action should continue lower. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the price kind of retest the 160 range and come back down, consistently establishing lower highs, lower lows. But for the moment, we are in a position right now where there's no reason to take a long position unless you're dollar cost averaging and adding to your position on the way up. It's just kind of it doesn't make any sense from a technical standpoint. Again, you can argue with me on that if you want. Feel free to comment below if you have differing opinions or you think different. That's fine. We're all entitled to our own opinions, and this is just based on technical analysis. I know nothing about the fundamentals right now for Pepe, but I can tell you that coins like this have a tendency of fizzling out after the first run, and it takes a little while for them to come back for a second. It's a good chance we won't see a parabolic increase or a moon, for lack of better terms, in the immediate future. Just doesn't make a ton of sense based on the technical data. We need some type of fundamental catalyst, and we don't have that yet. And we also need a lot more support, which we're running out of those so far. Okay, so we'll pay attention to this, but I would just be very cautious if you're going to take a long position right now. That's my recommendation. Best trade is no trade, honestly. I stick to that, and I hope that makes sense to you. Best of luck. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll see you in the next one. Please like, subscribe, follow if you could, just to help out the channel. Greatly appreciate it. See you tomorrow. Take care. Thank you.